arm. Got it. We've had a lot of fun on the second YouTube channel, RCG Racing, on this little itty-bitty DuroMax. I think it's time we up the ante into a big block 440 DuroMax. Now, just a side note, a 439 and a 440 are the same exact engine, but the 439 they've done some upgrades to and a couple of little tweaks. But basically everything is still GX390 compatible. Now, I think we should take this and put it in there and attempt to maintain the stock carburetor if possible. And I think that we can take the exhaust and do like we did on that mini bike and maybe bring it, either remove this rear fender and bring the exhaust out into here or something like that. That way we can have this as stock as possible the first time that we run it and upgrade it through over on RCG Racing. Now, we've got those giant nubby tires on here right now, but we've got the street tires that we had on the Coleman on RCG Racing, so we're going to swap those onto it. And then on top of that, over here, we've got a 40 series, just the standard generic Chinesium 40 series. Engine is out with everything with it because it's all tuned in order to work with what's here. That exhaust pipe is made out of like 1/8 inch thick solid steel pipe. You could literally beat somebody to death with it and put it back on the bike and it would not have a single bend in it. Probably gonna steal that to go on John's bike because he'll never break it. But over here, I want to talk about something a little bit controversial. If you can't manage to make your own riser blocks and drill 4 holes and cut a couple of pieces of steel like this American man did, you're what's wrong with America today. I swear to God, I will disown anybody that says that they paid 20 bucks to any company for a set of riser blocks. I said what I said. John's pulling the handlebars off because no matter what happens, I don't like those ones, so we're going to swap over. We have pulled the gas tank off and the seat off because we know we're going to have clearance issues. So rather than fight with it, we're going to put the engine in place, get the torque converter figured out, and then proceed to care about seat and gas tank. You know, where I'm supposed to be on it is last priority. Its engine comes first. That sounds like a V8 and a Miata slogan. Like, don't worry about it unless the engine is there. Well, John, will it fit? I think the answer is yes. Will I have a place to put my feet on this side?
No.
No, not really. I think the seat will fit, but is going to have to be easily removable if we want to do a spark plug. We've got our chain lineup done with an orange rod here for marking the driveway. And the torque converter is just thrown on there right now just to be able to line things up. I think we can make it work other than the exhaust. I think the exhaust is going to be a sorted out later function. Which I said earlier in the video, most likely what we'll do is we'll rig the exhaust to be like we did on the other bike. And then we'll go up through stage 1 and open header and stuff like that later. I think just make it drive down the driveway so we can go to the races is the first goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've talked about this in previous episodes about these Sunaf street tires. They lie. That says 19, that says 19, and you can clearly see the difference in height between the two of them. I don't know why Sunaf lies about these, but they're actually only 18 inch if you're building out a unit. John has no idea who Vanna White is, but he's doing his best impression of her. Down here, I've got the holes drilled out and the lines marked in order to cut for slide slots. What I've decided I'm going to do is brace all the way from here out, because the engine's actually got to sit slightly outside of frame in order to make the torque converter line up. And this one is cut off shorter because the torque converter plate we figured out is going to run right about in this area. So what I'm going to do is cut those slots, get this welded in once we double check the engine again. And then from there, I'm going to put a piece of strap from here to here, probably actually tee it off even, so that way those can't flex either direction. I may or may not blow a hole with the plasma cutter underneath here to make it easier to get to that with a socket. Well, we're kind of missing a few parts. We decided that since the shocks and stuff were kind of corroded on the bottom section that we wanted to repaint them. So we pulled those out, we pulled the tubes. The tubes, I don't know. John and I don't like the look of the tubes. We like the chromoly shock look a lot better. So we're going to run those. And down here on the engine, I've got it sitting on an old John Deere rim so that we can put the slide bars on. I've got the slide bar mostly centered, but slightly off. That way we can put the torque converter on, get the chain lined up, and then no matter how much this warps or moves or whatever, we've got tons of play to be able to get it in place. You do not need an expensive welder to do projects like this. Don't listen to stupid YouTubers trying to sell you stuff. This is a standard old-fashioned FORNEY 140 that I have had going on 9 years now. I'll post a link down below if you're interested in one, but seriously, these things are way outdated. There's a lot of better options. It doesn't take much to grab a wire bristle brush and clean up a little bit of flux core and call it a day. Don't let the internet try and sell you $1,000 welders that you don't actually need to do this stuff. Wire bristle brush is like $2. Okay, I've left this kicking over the end of this because I was debating coming off of here in order to make where the foot pegs go. I don't know, that's just kind of my preemptive measurement was that I need to come forward about 4 inches and then I need to come out about 6. So I don't know. I'm not a fan of these. This style, the moment it gets wet, they're slippery as all get out and I don't really like that. But I'm not sure that I have anything better in the shop right now. I'm going to dig around and see what I can find. I might have the pegs that came off of the Coleman when I tore that down. So, maybe? Not quite sure. I'm not saying I lost the argument. I'm just saying my futon is very small and I don't fit. So apparently, it's going to be red. Comment down below. Would you have decided on red if your futon was very small? Welcome to Maine. 85 degrees one day, running your propane furnace from an RV the next. I am dumb. I squared this up wrong yesterday. I did it totally backwards. So, here's what I should have done. I loosened these all the way, slid this all the way forward, squared everything with the frame. Then I installed the engine, brought the engine over until we had an alignment going straight down through here. You don't need stupid lasers or any other dumb mini bike gimmick whatever type thing. Literally, all you need is a straight rod. You hold it against the back of this and you see whether it squares up to the side of that and you call it good. It's that simple. The nice thing about having children is you get to pass on jobs you don't like. So, on Coleman's, MB200s, Bajas, all that kind of stuff, you have this pushback spring, and then you have a dowel. And what you have to do, John, is you have to push this spring back with the dowel in there to line that rod up through the hole in the dowel to hold it back to be able to thread the adjustment nut on. You got that?
Kinda.
Cool. Okay, now do it on camera. First try. Act like one of those professional YouTubers where they magically somehow clip it in where it works perfect the first try. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? Did you get it? Yep, right in there.
Yes.
Yep, there you go. Okay, now you have to manage to get the adjustment nut onto it, and then we'll have to figure out whether the brake lever's in the right spot or not. So on these, by the way, if you have to, you can undo this and pop it off and adjust where the brake lever is. These pads are about 3/4, so we should be all set. Are you done yet? Did you get it on there? I even babbled some in order to give you time. What are you doing?
I think I got it on.
That is not a good idea to chew on. That's probably some Chinesium lead paint. Don't do that. Welcome to my self-caused purgatory. This is our stock exhaust. This is your standard header you order off of Amazon. This one obviously is rather well used. And this is your good old-fashioned Tractor Supply hot dog muffler. And basically these things are 1 inch through, but in order to make them like 5-6 horsepower, they put this restrictor in there. You can literally see the layer where they put the restrictor. So what I did was I cut the restrictor off and pried it out, and the size of this versus that outlet is basically exactly the same. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to clock that, weld it to there, weld that onto the end of there, and we're going to see if we can fire this thing up without changing out the jets and sounding too terrible. Like I said, my goal is to try and stay as stockish as possible. As it is, I don't like that I'm using the Amazon header in order to cheat from using that, but that's just not going to happen. John is currently coming to the realization of why the previous owner glued the nuts into the top part in order to be able to get the screws in on the gas tank. I'm down here using this OEM stud puller for like the 20th time on getting exhaust studs out. I love this thing. I use it on all kinds of things now, but I'll post a link for this down below in the description. It works really good. Got a very limited throttle, got our push button start hitched up right now. We don't know whether it's going to need jet adjustment or not on our thrown together exhaust. This is first attempt to start up. Okay, that was with choke. Choke on. I'm working on relocating the pull handle to the other side over there. These Rado style handles, you can see the R160, they have like an insert and then the knot goes through the insert. Whatever this white cord is, it likes to fray the moment you cut it. So make sure that you have a lighter with you or something to be able to sear it off right after you chop it. John's going to get the front tire pumped up because we realized it was a tad bit low. But there it is. Big block sitting in an MB200 Baja. Red paint. Electric Alpha POW 3000 start. 440 cc's. 40 series torque converter Amazon special. I will put links to everything possible in the description. We're about to go and fire it up and see how it drives. Because, you know, firing it up on the test stand is all well and good, but if it doesn't drive, well, you're kind of screwed. We do need to modify the kickstand, of all stupid things. The kickstand needs to be about 1/2 inch shorter in order to offset the cast iron flywheel here. But a lot of people commented on the Facebook page that they thought it was going to tip over because of the cast iron flywheel, but the metal backplate 40 series off Amazon literally weighs as much as the flywheel. I think it's off by about 1 pound. In the grand scheme of things, that's pretty damn close for rig it together. All right, I'll shut up so you can work. I know, I'm getting the look. All right, here we go. Test fire. And let's see. Choke. This thing is scary. Like outright brute force scary. I also don't like I have to launch off the wrong leg. It lifts the front at like an eighth of a throttle. Holy shit. That is scary. I am so glad you put that thumb throttle stop at full stop, because that's 3,000 RPMs. That's not even actually doing what the engine is capable of. We've taken these 440s in stock form and upped the jet in the stock carburetor and pulled 6,000 plus RPMs in stock form. No spring modification, no cam, no nothing. They run a actual bearing from factory on the rod itself, like an ARP rod, only cast. This is scary. This is going to be great at the drag strip, but it is scary. And right now I smell like boiling fiberglass off the exhaust. That is not a fun smell. I don't like that. I don't care who you are. If you think boiling exhaust fiberglass smells good, there is something mentally wrong with you. Anyways, thank John for being cameraman for most of this episode. Jesse also helped out. Jethro made sure I had every wrench possible on the table so that I couldn't find a damn thing, and it took extra to do this project. Anyways, bye-bye.